I'm not the type to fucking record myself crying and shit, but like, one, I blame capitalism. Always. Two, it must be so fucking nice coming from a rich family. It must be so nice coming from parents who, like, can cushion you. It must be so nice having parents who can pay your rent and pay your bills and buy your groceries and shit like that. Having generational wealth, like, that must be fucking cool. And I get to thinking about how many people my age go on, like, family trips. Yeah, my family's going on a trip this year. Your family can fucking afford that? Like, that's wild. Financial anxiety is so fucking debilitating, and it makes you feel like a fucking loser. Should I just do fucking porn? Like,
D1 hating part 2. D1 hating part 2. You know, I'm getting kind of famous now. 100 views in like 2 days is kind of crazy. And I also want to note that these videos, I definitely do not hate these people that I'm talking shit about, honestly. I just don't like the shit that they do, if that makes sense. It's like a little kid. When he makes a mess, like say if I have a son, he makes a mess. I don't hate him because he made a mess. Like, I don't like him because he made a mess, but I just didn't like what he did. He made a mess. Same concept here. Dumb motherfuckers say dumb shit. I check them on it because so many people need to be checked on the internet. It's actually wild, especially full-grown men. I think honestly, this type of content, I will have unlimited amount of content because there's just so many men bitching and moaning about situations in their lives when, like, you're a man, like, no one gives a fuck, bro. Like, you should know that by now. Like, you're pushing 20, if not, you're through 20, you're pushing 30s, 40s, whatever the fuck. Understand that nobody cares. And yeah, this guy, blaming capitalism. Like, I don't get how you can blame capitalism. It's the number one thing that runs, like, massive societies, like social, like America, Australia, and all these mad countries. Like, how can you blame capitalism? Dumb fuck. And then he also goes on to complain about, he's not even complaining, he's actually crying like a little bitch. Let's just be honest here. He's crying like a little fucking bitch. And he's like, what, maybe older than me. Yeah. Blaming and bitching about people having rich families and them coming from, you know, generational wealth. It's like, whose fault is it that their parents work harder than your parents? Oh, but the situation isn't the same. The world is the same. It's still fucking a circle, motherfucker. Yeah, like, how can you blame these people for being rich? Like, if anything, I bet this guy, like, you know what? Let me get back on that. Let me go back. I am poor. Actually, I'm not poor, but I am broke, and he is broke. Obviously, you can see on his camera. But the thing is, he's bitching and crying about it, and then having the audacity to post it on social media, and then blame it on rich families. Like, who the fuck? Like, I don't get these people. Like, how can you blame? Like, there are some people out there that literally blame billionaires for having a shit life. Like, Elon is a bad person. He has so much money, and he could just donate and save all these people, but he just doesn't. Do you? Oh, well, you know, he has so much money and he's just evil. He's sending rockets to fucking space. What are you doing? Sitting on fucking TikTok, complaining about how your cat, and making a worded, like, 4-part video about your cat and how you dress her up. Like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, back to the video. I'm getting out of context because that's just how delusional and just people that think they just know shit but they don't. I just want to get that out of the way. Now, back to the subject. He talks about rich families. Like, we who don't come from rich families had to understand that we can become just like them as well. Like, it starts from us, if that makes sense. Like, we can't just sit there, especially as men. You need to understand that nothing is coming your way. Like, no one is going to do anything else for you. You're going to do everything yourself. And for you to just sit there and cope about and, like, certain shit that doesn't matter. Like, you might think it matters, but it really doesn't. Like, you can cry about not having rain, but the sun will still keep coming up every single day. Like, there is nothing you can do but work towards, you know, this guy trying to becoming rich. Like, just try and become rich in order for your, you know, families to obtain that financial freedom and stuff like that. Like, I don't get how people could just sit on the camera and just bitch and cry about, not having so much money and like saying stuff like, oh, it must be nice how they can pay your bills and do all this stuff. Of course, because their parents, if not their grandparents, worked for it, and your grandparents and your parents didn't. That's what is essentially, what's wrong about yourself. You just blame other people for not just sitting down and just analyzing what the fuck you're actually talking about. Dumb motherfucker. And you know what's interesting is that me and this guy's in the same situation. We are broke, but I'm not the one to sit there and be like for an example, if I'm walking outside and it's raining and I don't have my umbrella, I'll be like, you know what? It's my fault. I should have brought an umbrella. I'm not sitting there and being like, oh no, it's raining and I didn't bring my umbrella. Oh, it's because of the billionaire companies and all the rich families. They create mass factories that's pollutionizing the earth and then it's causing. Shut the fuck up, Gary. We're poor. We're getting through it. All right? We're going to get rich. That's what we're going to do. We're going to wake up every single day. We're going to do the things we're supposed to do every single day. We're going to train every day. We're going to work in our business every single day in order to get what these other people have. Although you dig up your ass, faggot, we need to work every single day and do something about our current situation. We don't just sit around and bitch about our problems. It's very important that we just analyze and review and revise every single step that we do with our lives in order to just constantly grow as a person and just get better stats. If you're going to the gym, lift once or twice a week and then eventually lift more times. It's just A to B simpleness. You should know this by now. You get what you get and you don't want it. You can't be upset about anything, honestly. Motherfuckers just sitting around crying on social media. It is hard. Don't get me wrong, especially as a person, if you haven't came from anything. I get it, I understand. But do not cry on social media and blame other people for your feelings. Does that make sense? You can't blame other people. If anything, number one, here, I'll give you a step-to-step thing on what to do and how to overcome these things. And it's actually important that everyone else knows this as well. Number one, you need to blame every single thing that has ever happened in your life. That has ever happened to you in your life. You need to blame every single thing that has happened to you in your life on yourself. Whether it was or whether it wasn't, you have to blame yourself. Step two, from then on, you need to analyze. Okay, I now feel like I'm in a shit position. Now I need to move. How am I going to move from here? I have all these problems. Okay, one problem, let's get that done. Let's get these things done. And then just constantly move and progress and overcome these problems and challenges you face throughout your life. Because if you don't, by all means, you're going to end up like this guy, just crying on a camera and then just blaming everything on other people. It's nonsense, man. I don't understand how full-grown men just bitch and complain about certain situations. You're a man, you need to grow up. The shit is not new. Motherfuckers are crying about not having enough money. Is that how much of a is that how weak we are as humans now? Is that how crazy we're getting to a point? I get it's hard, but you need to do something about it. You can't just say some bullshit and that. It's fucking crazy, bro.